After the pandemic, 2022 seemed like a whirlwind that came and went in a blink. But within that blink were memories I will never forget. Hi, my name is Jenna. I'm a traveling aesthetic nurse who practically lives out of a suitcase. Now, let's zip that suitcase up and rewind this brilliant year together. The start of the year was as chaotic as the end of the last one. I swam in an indoor-outdoor pool during a blizzard in Michigan, and though that may be a core memory, that blizzard ended up getting me stuck in an airport overnight without even a change of clothes. Not long after that, I flew out to Denver and experienced the city at night. I even got to see geese migrate. I ended out the month visiting Kansas City. I strolled through both sides of the state line and saw some of the coolest memorials and museums in the country. February was a breath of fresh air as I got some time at home and took a few classes to better myself. March led me back to Michigan, but this time I had a much more positive experience. I saw the massive Lake Michigan and enjoyed a sunset on the beach all by myself. From there, I flew directly to Iowa and enjoyed some art from Cedar Rapids. Before the month ended, I got to check one more state off my list that easily became one of my favorites, Wisconsin. I wandered at European architecture and ate some of the quirkiest food, including the best chicken tenders you will ever eat. April brought me back to Arizona for Country Thunder, one of the most memorable concerts ever because of two of my favorite people. This was also the month that Danny and I adopted our puppy, Kara. In May, we surprised my sister Emma with a graduation trip to Forks, Washington, where we explored the most breathtaking national parks and lived out our vampire dreams. We also got to visit Seattle, where we rode ferries and watched fish get thrown. I also got to check off my second Starbucks Reserve roastery. June was what summer dreams are made of. My family and I visited Cancun, Mexico for the first time. This trip was full of thrilling zip lines and stunning snorkeling. I also saw my second New World wonder. Speaking of wonders, I went to Savannah, Georgia, one of the most exciting southern states, especially if you want to hunt ghosts. In July, Danny and I went to Universal Studios Hollywood, where we became wizards for a weekend. August started off with a bang as my dad, sister, and I stood front row for one of our favorite country music artists, Chris Janson. I then returned to Iowa, this time visiting Des Moines. Here, I visited a farm and got to feed a baby goat. I also got to have my very first wine tasting experience at Winterset Cidery. I hauled a bunch of Shein outfits in preparation for my trip to Disney World in September. I spent my birthday on a long-awaited solo trip that was so unforgettable I will probably think about it for the rest of my life. I then visited St. Louis and went to one of the most bizarre museums/playgrounds I've ever seen. As the weather started cooling down in October, I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I went on plenty of nature hikes at some of the most lovely parks. I then met up with my family to take a road trip to San Diego. We went to the beach and got spooked at SeaWorld's Halloween event. November was the month that Danny, Meredith, and I saw Elton John in concert during his farewell tour. I also spent some much-needed time at home. For the last month of 2022, I wrapped up my out-of-state travel with a work trip to Omaha, Nebraska. When I got back to Arizona, I went to an anime festival and literally tried everything. I ended out the year in the midst of my family. 2022 was a whirlwind and a year of so much discovery. Over 56,000 air miles, 56 plane rides, 30 hotels, and 16 good books later, I am kissing a wonderful year goodbye and saying hello to 2023. There is so much more travel to be had in the new year, and I hope you will join me. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Happy New Year!